Oh, there it goes. What do I do?
Let me do my thing.
Hey there. Hell of a price, huh? Won't be here forever. Can't be found anywhere but this van. Guaranteed. Won't find that in ammunition. Ha! That was only released a little while ago. Act now. That price ain't here for long. Sold! Can't live without that. Trust me, You can trust that rifle.
It's old, it's impressive.
Yeah, you know what you're doing. Just so you know, that's a limited time offer. That's, black market only. Mm-hmm. Deal.
You're through to your garage. You, need me to bring you a rock? Alright, I'll get back to work.
Morse Mutual Insurance. How can we help you? I'll do my best.
I'm on the clock. What you want? Some wheels?
Some wheels. I'll bring it back.
I'll get there as soon as I can.
Wait, I'm getting this lousy AK out of my hand, can't I? Didn't I get the personal quarters for the... You know what? Let's drive. Let's drive. Let's drive there. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you found the terminal. This is how you run ops out of this mobile ops center. Budgets aren't what they used to be, but we've still got a ridiculous amount of money to spend on cool toys. I mean, operationally appropriate hardware. When jobs become available, click accept and we'll get you started. You'll be maintaining the global order while driving the most state-of-the-art weaponized vehicles.
You all right, Chief? Bye. Greeny? Dropping you the location shortly. These are all businesses known for money laundering. Alright, we're sticking to the same MO as before. Consider this our latest investment round. I'm sure you can persuade these reprobates to bankroll a worthy cause one more time. You know, since our last hit, I've come to appreciate that upholding the law in a duplicitous manner is not only ironical, but extremely gratifying. Okay, just like last time, locate and seize any and all funds on the premises. Keep your wits about you, though. I wouldn't be surprised if they made some improvements to the security after your last visit. Seems like you got them shaking. Be careful. By the way, I will be able to assist you with my LSPD privileges. Accessing their database and communications is a perk of the job. One that will prove useful throughout this venture, I'm certain. As we say in the LSPD, just seizing illicit goods.
Lost, fool? No, what the shit? Who got hit? Die,
There should be a stash of cash in there somewhere, just like the last time. But don't get overconfident. They might have tightened security since our last incursion.
Oh, looky here. You cocksucker! Fuck you, bitch! I gotta reload!
Solid. Malo Carvalho.
You're dead!
Okay, sending some coordinates your way. Okay, you know the formula now, so go do what you do. We need a laptop with up-to-date info on the cartel's operations, and a new hacking device after our fight. The tech genius with the terabyte deactivated the last one. Of course, we'll need another trade. By the way, don't worry. We may share a goal, but I'm fully aware we do not share a motivation. I've made sure sufficient funds are allocated to recompense you for your efforts today. deactivated the last one we stole, so we've got to go back for another. Bring down the drones to bypass his security. I guess an inconspicuous locale is a necessity when you're in possession of your very own military-industrial complex on wheels. Access now the drones are down. You get the device? Good. Now you should have no issue requisitioning a train. Or anything else for that matter. Proficient as usual. Obviously, we no longer have access to the train we used last time, so we'll need another one. Coordinates with you now. You'll just need to find the keys. Keep going. I'll make sure there's no retaliation from the LSPD. Just a simple matter of rerouting some calls. As before, I would not expect these gentlemen to hand the keys over peacefully. Be ready.
Go back home! Lay your fucking head down! He got hit! Help him out! Now you're fucking come on.
Got the keys? Then please admit yourself aboard. All aboard? Then as you approach the signals, hit them with that hacking device. And remember to keep up your speed. Don't want those miscreants to catch up and take you down. ensure the train remains secure until we're ready to use it. Okay, progress. All right then, stand by for your target locations. I'm sending you surveillance images of the gangs we're hitting. Get a good look. Okay, I have a couple more confirmed reports of groups carrying illegal equipment. We need one cache of weapons and one stash of gear. As usual, some of these targets are more amply strapped than others, so pay a visit to whomever you deem worthy. Okay, your list remains consistent. Weapons, armor, and masks that can't be traced to us. Intel says this gang consistently has a solid loadout to repossess, so be ready.
Friendly down! He's been hit!
They see you. Get ready for some serious resistance.
Fucking bump!
Be prepared to execute evasive maneuvers.
Fall back! They hit him! Shit!
There should be both weapons and gear at these locations.
You dick! I need a medic!
Well done. Take everything you've procured to the lockup. I've given you 3 possible targets, but you can hit them all if you're so inclined. Anything extra you get. If you revisit any group that was previously graced with your presence, they will not be so welcoming again, especially if you're there for one of their cars. Weapons, check. Gear, check. If you want more options, feel free to take them. When you're ready, just send me a message confirming the equipment you want to use. Good. I'll arrange for any extras to be stashed in case you change your mind. Right. Right. Sending the locations of 3 viable getaway vehicles. I'm sending surveillance images to you. These are our potential targets. I should remind you, these groups are the same people you may have visited when sourcing your equipment. If you pay the same crew another visit, expect increased security. You know how this goes, so I won't waste any unnecessary time. Which group is the lucky one this time? Same process as last time. You have 3 options, but can only use 1 getaway car on the day of the raid. Secure the garage near the factory where we can safely keep the car until the raid. Excellent choice. We're not in any rush out there, so feel free to pay the other gangs a visit and evaluate their cars too. You'll be appropriately compensated for any extra vehicles you bring back.
can the best mechanic in LS do for you? Here for the magic touch?
When you're ready to confirm your choice of vehicle, send me a message. Getaway car secured. Well done. Keep your head down on your way out. I'll give you a call soon.
Chavalillo.
Pendejo!
I got your back!
You got nowhere
We
to
got
go?
you!
Details incoming. Meanwhile, make your way to the Cluck and Bell outlet on Innocence Boulevard. Got that device we stole from the Terabyte on hand? Because you need it to hack the vans. While you're doing that, look out for a uniform to help disguise your good self while you infiltrate the garage. Then all you gotta do is sabotage the vehicles and find the key card. Simple. Honestly, you've done this so many times that you probably know which depot they use to load the drugs by heart. If you know where to go, be my guest. No point wasting time hacking those vans. Unless you want one of those outfits, of course. Alright, keep close to the vans while you download the GPS information. Did you think that hacking device only works on train signals? No way! This is some multi-purpose apparatus. These guys won't be happy that someone's messing with their GPS. Stay vigilant. Remember, if we want an accurate location, we need to hack all the vans with the same signal. We've got the location. Don't worry about these drivers calling it in. As far as they know, this is just some day-to-day bullshit. If you're in that uniform, remember it'll only get you so far. Can't hide that distinctive face of yours. At some point, they'll call you out. Sabotage the trucks, find the key card, wipe the CCTV, and get out. That way, the cartel won't see you coming. Now, you can blow up the trucks and do this the old-fashioned way, but the cartel will find out. And trust me, they'll be waiting for you when we hit the factory. I recommend you keep your head down. Even in that getup, they'll still lose their cool if you're spotted wandering into the more sensitive parts of the building. They got any deposit boxes, lockers? You can search them for key cards if you got a way to break them open.
Son of a bitch!
You've been compromised. Take out those guards immediately or they'll report you to the cartel. I admire your dedication to clandestine tactics. It will be a major asset when we hit the factory. You find the key card? Good. When we hit the factory, that's gonna simplify things. far as the cartel know, you were never here. Okay, head out when you're ready. Okay, remember how we smuggled you in the crate last time? Hope you're ready to get back in. Find another flatbed and bring it back to base. Don't worry about the intel suggests that they have absolutely no idea what is about to happen to them. Again. Okay, the cocaine will be stored in various locations. Clear out all the stashes. There should also be a safe nearby. Grab whatever's inside. Hey, you copy? I'm on the comms. They know you're here. Don't forget the extra gear your crew procured. Feel free to experiment. It should be in a dumpster to the rear of the factory. You see, it pays to befriend your local garbage man.
Get the fuck out of here!
Ayuda! Got a man down! Oh, el soldado is down!
The key card you acquired should grant you access to restricted areas in the factory, including the basement. It's clear this place is barely functioning as a chicken factory. One would assume they'd have more Cluck and Bell staff to keep up appearances. They estimated just how bold criminals can be once they have the police in their pocket. Once you get into the storage area, fill your pockets.
Go back inside. Where you gonna go? Oh, fucker! They got one of the homies, that's it! ¡Puto! ¡Busque cubierto, ahorita! You motherfucker! ¡No the chapines! We kick!
Don't forget to vacate the contents of the safe, too.
Get out of here, little cobarde! ¡Eso aquí estoy!
Retain your fire and head into the office. There should be a key nearby if you need to catch your breath. Or you can shoot the handle to break the lock.
You know where to go! Amigos!
Connect to the computer to initialize the hack.
Stand down!
It's safe to assume you didn't read the manual for the hacking device you picked up, correct? Well, I did, and it's simple. Just find the strongest signal, and it should jump on the connection. If you're seeing blue, keep going in that direction. Red, you're off course. You hacked one of the computers? Then find the other connections and retrieve the rest of the code.
¡Muérete ya! ¡Saliste! Martinez!
Check the hacking device for the code to the safe.
Somebody help him! Chinga tu madre, puto.
Excellent. That's everything. Okay, they're mobilizing on the comms. Sounds like they're about to shut down any nearby roads. But as usual, we're one step ahead. Your getaway car is stored just beyond their reach.
You motherfucker!
The fastest means of escape is still a getaway vehicle that you stashed in the garage. already waiting at the lockup. He'll handle any next steps and see you get paid. My stomach's growling. It's most assuredly the thought of 2 number 9s. That delicious deep-fried meat paste makes me weak. Between you and me, I've stopped going to Cluck and Bell after these raids. Just doesn't taste the same.
And unfortunately, a few years ago, he did pass away. Unfortunately, but at the time when I met him, I was teaching him guitar. He was a big Genesis fan, and I was teaching him guitar, and we hung out quite a bit. I didn't realize at the time. I knew he worked in a studio, but I didn't know what he did or where he did it or anything like that. And on one particular day, he turned up. He had a Corvette, this flash fancy sort of sports car. Do you want? Job for you. Is he washing your car? Is it like an actual job? We're making a game for the PSP. Can't tell you anything about it, but the fact that it's a music sequence, and we need someone to come in and use the music sequence of the actual game itself to make music as factory presets for a game.
you doing? How can I help?
That's fine.
Okay, my friend. I'll take care of the LSPD. Leave it to me.
Started working on projects and
It's not looking good! They didn't make it.
So yeah, once we'd shipped Beta Rater and GTA Chinatown Wars, we then moved on to other projects. And again, can't go into too much detail. That's a Rockstar thing that, like, unless you have their blessing, you not really a thing that you do. Talk about the production side of things. That there's some detail I can say, but unfortunately, I am limited as to what it is that I can discuss. But yeah, that's the crux of it. I knew a guy who offered me a job because, as is the usual case in the games industry, I need this particular job doing. It's quite a niche particular job, and I know someone who can do it, so I'll ask them. And it's basically it's no different to any other job that I got 20 years ago. I got into music teaching because I just so happened to know the guy who owned the shop, and he had a spare room at the back, and they were like, well, thinking of doing, because I asked him originally, do you do guitar lessons? I could do it, tightening up on a few things, and he just laughed at me and was just like, yeah, no, you don't need guitar lessons, but we could do with a guitar teacher, because the guy that's currently teaching 1 day a week, he's leaving for university, so, okay then, cool, yeah, I'll give it a go. 8 years later, I'm like, oh, well, guess I'm doing this now,
Yeah. So was it actually difficult for you to transition from mobile games to console games?
Not for me especially, because I didn't know any different. I'd gone in, my first gig in the games industry was at Rockstar, and they have unlimited resources and a wealth of knowledge. So I was thrown in, like, literally not just at the deep end, but I was thrown in at the deep end with a paddle and a boat, and basically told, right, all you got to do is what you're told, and we'll teach you everything you need to know. So for me, it was just, okay, like monkey see, monkey do, point me in the right direction, tell me what to do, and I'll do it. Because with audio, a gun goes bang, fart noise will always sound like a fart noise, regardless of whether it's played on a PSP or a Xbox 360, it's the same thing, really, so...
That's fascinating, because I've obviously watched your lectures and stuff, and you talk about the psychology of sound. And there was one particular thing that stuck out to me, and you showed a visual of rain, and there was like a rain noise, and then you cut to bacon, and you find out that the sound you'd used for the rain was the frying of bacon.
Yes.
Yeah. So does that? So you have a lot of instances where you would use a sound that comes from something else to.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's, outside of the purview of games, when it comes down to sound and how sound behaves and the use cases of sounds, you've got smart ways of using things and creative way of using things. For me, it was smart to find something that was a good replacement for rain, because I don't want to stand in the middle of a field with a microphone in a thunderstorm. That sounds like a really bad idea.
Yeah.
So
I saw your ad about this cleansing.
Hi, Mom. This asshole.
Tell me more about the
Good news, I'm pregnant again.
Wow.
Oh,
Spicy turkey enema sounds really soothing.
Oh, shit! I already warned you once. I'm calling the police. Oh!
Oh no!
getting creative with how you fix the solution, for the solutions of this, that's where it gets more sort of broadly interesting. For me at least, I find it sort of fascinating that you can, you don't have to be, I need the sound of rain, so I have to go and record rain. If you can find something else that sounds just like rain, then you can use that instead. Like there's so many different use cases. Like I did a Foley workshop at one of the conferences at DevGam in Lisbon, and one of the things that I use for snow under the foot is a pair of tights filled with cornstarch, and that sounds just like, when you're walking through snow. It's the exact same sound, so if I'm recording footsteps of somebody walking through a winter landscape, for an example, I could go outside right now and record that, and that would be the best sort of solution and the best sound for it. But what if you live in somewhere like Cyprus, like some of my colleagues, and it doesn't snow there? Like, how do you get the sounds then? Like, well, you either get on a plane and you fly to Lapland at great expense, or you buy a pair of tights and a bag of cornstarch and you do the exact same thing in your living room. Like, it's sometimes you've got to be creative to, you got to think outside the box and be creative. Otherwise, you're limited as to what you can actually do.
Can it get quite overwhelming though? Because obviously with something like, say, Red Dead Redemption 1 and GTA 5, they're massive in size, right? So the amount of sounds you'd have to make is just insane.
It's, it's kind of yes and kind of no. What you've got to remember about both of those games is they are open world, and one thing that Rockstar do exceptionally very, very well is the open world. And the reason why they do it so well is because most of the developers that are on board, as an audio person on GTA 5, for an example, the first thing that you ask in any job is like, okay, well, what are the limits? What are the constraints that we have here? And you'll give them technical limitations. Yes, like, okay, well, each sound bank has to be X, Y, and Z. Like, these are your limitations for every mission. These are the technical constraints. Okay, well, what's the creative constraints? There isn't any. Go nuts. Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, what it means is like, okay, well, if you want to do footsteps and you want 10,000 different unique sounds for that, go nuts, because we'd sooner have lots of things and then pull back on something if we don't need it. Like, yes, you did 10,000 footstep sounds. Do we need 10,000? Probably not. Okay, well, let's just limit it to about 100 then. Fair enough. But if you go the other direction too much, okay, I have 5 footstep sounds. We're going to need more than that because it's going to get a bit old a bit quick. I'm really struggling for time now. I don't know. So it was always like, it's easier to dial it down, dial it back, go too much and then strip some fat off than it is to not do enough and then have to push for that extra 5 or 10% at the end of the project.
Right. But is part of that because Rockstar games pretty much have unlimited budgets? I mean, you can kind of go nuts, but maybe with smaller games that wouldn't be the case? And you might end up in a position where you'd have to scale up as opposed to scale down?
As a creative person, I've never had that as a problem. I've always found it fairly easy because it's with audio. everything that you record is usable for something. You know, you just don't know that it's usable yet. That's the key thing that a lot of sound design, like my libraries, I'm now on 2 terabytes of sound libraries that I've been collecting over the years.
Jeez.
Well, nearly 3 terabytes now, actually, because I've just upgraded my library stuff. But there's things that you've got to remember, that just because you record it now, footsteps are a good example, or Foley in general is a really good example. One of the things that I did recently on 9 to 5 was I was doing bullet sounds as they drop on different surfaces, like concrete, wood, carpet, things like that. And I'd set up a Foley table sort of thing, and I can reuse those sounds because they're mine. I recorded them. And yes, I can use them for specific projects, but the raw recordings they're mine. I can use them for whatever I want. So now, whenever there's a game that I need the specific sounds, I already have them. So, when it comes down to scaling sort of aspect of things, like a lot of the time I already have a lot of the sounds that I need, but also there's the opposite side of that sometimes it is just easier to just record the sounds that you're going to need, because it's quicker than it is trying to traipse through 3 terabytes of
3 terabytes, yeah.
of
it would
audio.
take ages.
Yeah, I mean, we've got tools for that. I've got MetaDigger, which is like a referencing sort of program where I can just add in a keyword and it'll find all the sounds in my library that are tagged with, when I say footsteps, it'll like, okay, well, here's your 6,000 files that contain the word footsteps. Okay, now footsteps, ice, okay, well, here are the ones that have these tags on them, so it's all about tools and workflow at that point. And after I've been doing this nearly 20 years, it is all about the tools now, because the content is already there. I've already got a lot of content that I use, that's readily available to me, that I can just access at a minute's notice. So then it turns into the workflow rather than anything creative. Creative side is always the fun side, but it's, what you're paying for with someone like, with my experience, or, and when you're paying for a senior developer of any sort of discipline, what you're paying for there isn't necessarily it's not the job that they can do, it's the effectiveness of which that they can do it. So when I get on board on a project, after 20 years, what you're paying for with me is my ability to go in and add audio immediately in a way that is going to affect the game in a positive and constructive way. In what would normally take a junior or a regular sound designer maybe 3 days, I could probably do in a day and a half, because I've got all of the tools. My entire workflow is designed around being able to do exactly what is needed to be done. All I need to know is what's the purview of the project. Is it first person? Is it third person? Is it an action game? Is it stylized? Is it cartoony? That's really all the information I need to know. Everything else is workflow. Like how I do the editing, batch conversion, renaming of audio files. All of the silly little things that really the those who are new to it or don't know anything about it, those are the things that people don't really think about. Naming conventions. When you look at footsteps, for an example, it's not just left and right footsteps. You're talking about having enough footsteps for it to sound unique and different every single time that you hear it, but you've also got to do that for every single surface that the player might walk on, whether it be grass, gravel, water, concrete, dirt, snow. Just off the top of my head, that's like 6 or 7 different surfaces that the player can actually walk on, which you need at least 25 to 30 different unique sounds for each of those surfaces. And then it's like, okay, well, I've got all of these files. What do we call them? Do I need to rename all of them by hand manually? No, that'd be ridiculous. So, tools, advanced renamer. I click and drag a folder in there. I give it a new name. I give it, the naming convention that is used for the projects. Click start. Matter of seconds, I've got 20,000 files that all match exactly what it is that I need them to do. My job just got so much easier and quicker, because now it's just a case of click and drag into the project rather than, oh, I've got to manually do all this donkey work again. So tools.
So has that changed a lot over the years in terms of the technology in regards to audio, or is it kind of peaked now?
I don't think it's got necessarily the tech side of it is actually broadly the same. The batch conversions. There's a little bit more. Thanks to mostly the digital side of the world.
All right, time to balance the books. The client wants the car picked up and given a little VIP treatment. Washed and returned in perfect condition. You got this hot stuff.
Audio files or video files.
The owner says the car keys are in a lockbox in the property. You just gotta grab them. So it's getting better in so far as it's now open to anybody. I'm not a programmer by any stretch of the imagination. I now have a way that I can actually.
Hey, man. Yo!
So that's going to be beneficial for me as a designer, because that both of those things, no reason why you shouldn't be able to sit down and make your own game. Because nuanced and it's never been more accessible for literally I'm making this first-person shooter.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. I mean, I suppose the downside of having accessibility to making a game, though, is the games that are being made, and not all of them are
35 other guys with the exact same amount of experience and tenure and projects behind them as I've got. And recently I've got into the final selection of quite a few roles and not got them. And I've asked for feedback because we haven't. It's tossing a coin at this point. You know, like we just thought this person was a better fit for our needs. You know, nothing wrong with your application.
Oh no! Jeez!
Trying to keep myself busy. I'm learning, as I said, I'm learning how to, specifically learning, trying to learn C-sharp. Sharp or a coding language, it's not creative. It's like, no. You have to do it this way. If you don't, it won't work. End of discussion. Like, why isn't this working? Oh, because I did an accidental lowercase here instead of an uppercase.
I'm on the clock. What you want? Some wheels?
Why is this a problem? It's like, surely you're smart enough to know that it should be this.
It's on the way.
It's like, well, no, that's the point of coding. If it's not exact, it won't work. That's the whole point behind it, you know, to stop mistakes, you know, silly mistakes from happening. Okay. So for me, it's been an interesting journey, but a journey nevertheless. You know, like going through, you know, the fundamental basics of, you know, I already have some experience of that because I work heavily in Unreal and Unreal Blueprints, which is, I guess, a form of scripting and coding. You know, it is visually better.
So, we got another network that's getting traction in town. And you know what? That really fucks with our market outlook. I've sent you the location of a present we're gonna leave them. Go grab it.
For what programmers, engineers have to go through?
Yes and no. It did in some respects.
Oh yeah, we're about to blow these guys so hard, so hard. Just grab the cash, plant the charges, and give them a big fuck you on the way out, huh?
Numbers people or creative people.
Take cover!
Touch your finger. And you assume that your index finger is
Go in for...
So 1, 2, 3, 4. You just touch your fingers, okay? And then you try to do the exact same thing on your other hand. It's quite an easy thing to do. But if you say, okay, well, I want you to do it forwards with this hand and back this hand. Go. They. My brain doesn't really work. Numbers people, they look at the numbers and go, "Oh yeah, I can do that quite easy." If you're a visual person, they look at it and they get confused until you say, "Oh, what I mean is we're going right to left." That's all you're doing. And oh yeah, I know how to do that. That. They look at my go. They. My brain doesn't really work. Numbers people. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You just touch your fingers. Okay. And then you try to do the exact same thing on your other hand. It's quite an easy thing to do. But if you say, okay, well, I want you to do it forwards with this hand and backwards with this hand. Go. They. My brain doesn't really work. Numbers people, and you assume that your index touch your finger is number, okay? And then you try to do the exact same thing on your other hand. It's quite an easy thing to do. But if you say, okay, well, I want you to do it forwards with this hand and backwards with this hand. Go. They. My brain doesn't really work. Numbers people, they look at the numbers and go, "Oh yeah, I can do that quite easy." But if you're a visual person, they look at it and they get confused until you say, "Oh, what I mean is we're going right to left." That's all you're doing. And oh yeah, I know how to do that. That makes sense because you're a visual person. You're probably creative. And you deal with pictures and patterns better than you do with numbers and counting. You know, and that's why when I look at engineers, I'm like, good for you. You are one of the team, you know, we salute you, sir. But, you know, the other side of the coin is like, they think 0 is a number. So it's like, okay, well, how many things are on the list? There's 4 things on the list. But why is there 5 things mentioned? Oh, because 0 is number 1. What? Again, like all the coders watching this are just going to be like, oh, God, no, please stop him. Stop him talking.
Oh, that's funny. So, one of your favorite games, which I find very interesting, is Red Dead Redemption 1. Usually, when people really console, they tend to find
Oh, man, so awesome. Just make sure you don't bring any cops back here. That dirty money in the party powder in my pockets. We've been having a tough time talking ourselves out of it.
For me, QA for that more than anything. So, creative aspect. The best position. It's a new terminology. QA, them guys are just QA. Sound is spawning in the middle of it. What's causing it? You know, is it an audio sound or on the so when I make that for it, these are all the details, the specific details. I could go and fix it myself, but that's not really how this works. So for me, I was losing confidence. There's one thing that I like really, currently it's available on PlayStation Plus. PlayStation Plus, please get it and play it because it has aged beautifully. I think when we was working on it, one of the first things that they said was like, at any particular point you should be able to pause the game, take a screenshot, and frame it for your wall. And boy, did they deliver! Like it is a pretty game. It's a very, very pretty game, and the voice acting in it is superb. Now, here's the thing that makes it my favorite game. And it's the weirdest reason. People forget this was 3 generations of console ago. Like
Xbox 360 and PS3. You know, look at the game now, and you compare it to Red Dead 2. It's like, okay, well, Red Dead 2 is clearly higher fidelity. It's clearly a better game. Well, there's over a decade difference there, and you'd be very hard pressed. You know, other than the generation of console, you'd be very hard pressed to really.
Ah, yeah, so I need you to head to that core to take out a security team and steal a stockade.
You know,
No
so
sweat, right?
One of the reasons why, the main reason why it's my favorite game is it was way ahead of its time. Massive open world, with superb voice acting, incredible stuff. The best soundtracks.
Okay, boss, here's the deal. Another laundering outfit's been running a pretty successful pipeline from Los Santos, and let me tell you, their money is squeaky clean. So we gotta reestablish the natural order here, and that's us on top. We're taking their cash. You just need to convince this guys. And yes, they're gonna have to take out a bunch of security guys, but, sucks to be them.
Hey! Go! Oh my God! Someone got hit! You aren't supposed to be down here?
Isn't it?
What the fuck is it with you?
But I mean, a lot of Rockstar's games age really well. But are you able to play a game and just enjoy it for what it is? Or do you put on your audio hat and start critiquing stuff?
I think there's two sides to
You
this.
see the bags in the stockades GPS?
You know
That's where you gotta go pick up. Just keep it
as a
low
game
key, get in and
professional,
out.
you can play
Cash
it
in
and
hand,
game
baby, that's how we roll.
Play it, play it the first time, and you play it the whole story mission, start to finish, and you are playing it as a game rather than as a game designer or an environment artist, and you're not, dissecting it. I think that's the hallmarks of a good game. At some point, you'll probably play it again. Oh shit! I want to know how they did this. That's when the veil starts to break a little bit. But if you're playing a game and the first thing that you start to notice are the little things, like folks that look at me. Oh my God! First thing, often what you see the first 3 hours of gameplay of any game is usually the most polished. Because by the time you get to the 3-hour mark and the cracks start to form, you're already invested, and psychologically you're more likely to let things slip, and it's like you're more likely to it's annoying, but I'm not going to stop playing. Whereas if you encounter those issues in the first 25 minutes of playing, less than an hour later you can install it. I don't want to name names or anything, but there's a recent franchise that Ubisoft did with off of cliffs into Wales of Hay, where they released a game and they basically released it too soon. They released it trying to hit the Thanksgiving, and got destroyed the first week because it was virtually unplayable. Absolutely destroyed for it, quite rightly so. They since patched it and it's a great game now apparently, but the damage was already done, like people are just like, what the hell is this? This is like, and you're paying like $70 or $80 for that. If I'm paying $70 or $80 for anything, I want it, I want it to work, I want it to, and that's again another reason why, especially I think these days, there's never been more.
That's one down. Just keep up the act and you'll be laughing all the way from the banks. I'm really sorry, that wasn't my best.
Oh my God! Perpetuation here is like, well, the reason that you can't have something like Red Dead Redemption 3, which is a behemoth of a game, hours and hours, visually stunning, with incredible fun. You can't have that without having the production cost with it, that scale of game. takes a lot of people a long time to make. And they lost money. People are making that. They want to be comfortable, have a good salary, they want to have a living wage, rightly so. And that actually costs. Okay, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. But what if I'm paying $70 or $80 for a gown, but it's only 4 hours long? Oh, it's a multiplayer. I don't mind having my ass money by 10-year-old China. No, I don't have no interest in multiplayer at all. I don't mind making them, but they're not games that I would play because I'm not very good at them. I like to sit on my couch and like a good story. I like to be in the market. Make myself a cup of tea if I want one. You know, like come back and carry on where I left off. You know, I don't want to have to be on the edge of my seat trying to do something just to succeed in something. I don't find that particularly fun as a gamer. Again, as a developer, I don't mind it.
Oh, you about to get dealt with,
good,
hey, raise up now, motherfucker!
What's the term I'm looking for here? Some good lessons to be learned in multiplayer games when you're developing, you know, some good problems that you need to try and sort of fix. As a gamer, unless I'm playing online with my brother, I have a twin brother back in the UK, you know, occasionally we will do something, you know, like maybe Portal 2 or
Are you looking forward to GTA 6? Because that'll be the first game that you aren't involved in, because obviously you're involved a little bit with RDR 2, but you're going in blind.
I'm looking forward to it in so much as I'm curious as to knowing because I work so heavily on GTA 5, I know the engine. It's mostly the mechanics, I think, is what I'm more interested in. You know, when a great example is The Lost and the Damned. And at the time, people were like, really? That's really good. And there's one mission in particular, the 4-leaf clover, where all three characters connect in the middle, sort of thing. And retrospectively looking back now, it's easy to see that that's the blueprint of the 3-player system in GTA 5. You know, Trevor, Michael, and it's only when you look back at that you're like, oh, yeah, like it's actually really quite obvious. You know, like that's one mission where 3 different storylines meet in the middle, and you know, for one mission sort of thing. You know, that's what I'm interested. That's what I'm more curious about, because you look at GTA 5 and what they did there, and you know, again, like I have a bit of a behind the scenes thing with GTA 5. You know, I know some of the things that we was going to do, around to, I know some of the things that we experimented with, and you know, again, can't discuss anything like that. Unfortunately, there wasn't much that we could. But there's elements of that I'm like, I'm really quite keen to see what they do, because there will be things in GTA 5 that they will have in GTA 6 that you're looking at and go, oh, I should have seen that coming. It's really clever. You know, there's things for sure I feel that they did in GTA 5 that they will definitely want to expand on and use as either a core mechanic or a main plot point or something.
Here you go.
I'll be incredibly surprised if they don't do anything like that. I'll be very, very surprised. But again, I'm coming blind. I've got zero experience. I know nothing about it, you know, other than the fact that they probably will have, given the time frame how long it's taken to get to this stage, they've probably rebuilt the entirety of the game. But the only thing I can say with real genuine confidence, I'll be amazed if they did, because the architecture of technology was advanced significantly, which again, easy to forget. That was 3 generations ago. That was the last one to be released on 360 PS3. You know, everyone forgets that, because it's still, like, up until recently, GTA Online was still a going concern. You know, that's a good tenure for a game, You know, and that's on PS5.
Yeah, and I suppose they'll probably take stuff from Red Dead 2 as well. Red Dead 2's learning.
I imagine so. also, yeah, like even on GTA 5, they took the Deadeye system and they used, you know, the Deadeye sort of thing as one of the perks, you know, for one of the characters. You know, you've got the Deadeye thing that Michael used. I think you've got the slow-mo driving thing for Franklin and basically Chris and key things that have been used in I'll be surprised if we'll see.
Did you live Rockstar?
Personal reasons. They were ramping up a little bit for, towards Red Dead 2, and at the time, my personal life didn't really support the ramping up the gracefully vacated. Again, a bit more nuanced than that, but the family situation at the time wasn't a sustainable. At that particular time, when I made the choice that my family was more important, so I was there nearly 9 years. Which is a long time for anyone to be. And I loved it there. They were great company. As they frequently are in most jobs. You enjoy your job. You don't really work for a living. My dad always said, you know, like, you find a job you love and then work again in life. I've not had a job now for nearly 20 years.
Well, I suppose the other thing as well is I imagine a lot of your old colleagues are still there.
I think that quite a few people have left since then again. It's a young man's game, I think, you know, like, there's still a French culture, not just at Rockstar, I should point this out. It is more of a Western than anything else. You know, in Europe in general, when I relocated from the UK to the Czech Republic, I was in wargaming Berlin for a few years, and they didn't really have there was no expectation or insistence on us working overtime. In fact, they were very keen, like, no, you can't work more than these hours, we'll get into trouble, go home. Okay, well, what about the deadline? It doesn't matter about the deadline, you know, like, you can't work these hours, that's illegal, go home. Oh, right, okay.
We got a shipment of dirty cash just arrived, sending you the location.
Even worse than that? Like, there's an insistence here where, like, everybody must have at least 2 weeks off back-to-back vacation.
That's
so
similar
that
to
you get
here.
enough, yeah, so that you get the important time away from the women to come back refreshed. Sign me up for that. Back when I was at Rockstar, I was averaging 60 to 70 a week. That was fun. I was just moving home and get wife and 2 kids. Not really sustainable sort of lifestyle, you know, then you have to make difficult choices. As it happens, things fell apart.
So, this money, it's stashed inside of a car courtesy of our guys overseas. Very cool, huh? Very smart. We just have to find the container we're shipped in, and I'll send you a pic. But there's one tiny little catch. We think arrival after got wind, so if I were you, I'd approach this nice simple pickup with an open mind.
I chose to sort of relocate and, you know, things with the trajectory that my life took. I'm glad that I made those decisions. I don't think I would change anything necessarily about it. Of course, I think
That's fucked up! You want it, man? You think I ain't gonna... Hey!
He suffers from MND, motor neuron disease. Effectively, it's terminal. I found out just when I relocated to Finland. We found out, you know, and
I was like, okay, well, what does that mean? He's like, well, basically, it means I have between 3 and 5 years. We don't know, you know. Equally, Stephen Hawking had it, and he lived for, 60 years with it? So, you know, like, we don't know. So, at the time, it was like, okay, what do I do? And he was just like, don't do anything. I could be fine for decades. Could be dead in a year. I don't know. So, okay, right, fair enough. So at the time, you know, tough decisions were made. I moved to Finland, and you know, since then, yeah, he's still around. He's still just as dark as he always usually is. The difference is, of course, is I no longer get a text message from him saying like, "Hey, are you in? Do you fancy a coffee?" Or you know, which was a thing that would happen in the UK. You know, like, "Hey, are you around? You fancy a visitor?"
Once the other guy gets more contact, his name's Sal, cool guy, you can trust him. He's gonna strip it, give us the cash, and keep the parts.
Yeah, I mean, weirdly, he visits here more than I visit the UK. You know, COVID hit everybody quite hard, so I've actually travelled to the UK for quite a few years. And most of my family, they're just like, hey, Finland, what's Finland like? So, like, when he first came, when he first found out, actually, when he first diagnosed, he was like, I've got one more thing to do on my bucket list, and see what it works. So I was just like, I've just started at Red Hill. I have like relocation. Walking, just. I'm gonna relocate. You know, I'm gonna sort of visit Iceland. You know, I'm gonna drive to Iceland. Get a ferry. I'll pay for you and your family to fly to Helsinki. Might not see them all. Sure. I'll just be put some that I know I'm going to spend on lightsabers and geeky nerdy stuff. Or just so stuff in. He also did like husky sledding and snowmobile. Like he works in a military museum, paintballing with tanks of all things. You know, he's got tank drivers. Ironically, at the time I was working at war gaming with tanks, his work colleagues are like, man, your job's so cool. He works in world tanks. And I'm like, you literally do world tanks with tanks. And you think I have a cool job? I work in an office. But yeah,
thanks.
He comes over here. He's actually visited here more often than I've actually visited the UK.
Yeah.
So like it has its moments. It's very. I think at least it's very. It's very good lifestyle to have here in Finland. Actually, you know,
Work-life balance.
Yeah, the work-life balance I think is super important to almost every Finnish person. Is very sort of they're very open about it as well. You know, like work is fine, but family that's home life is your home life. You know, and that's one of the big problems that I've got now is like I'm not again. I relocated twice. The second time I'm separate to Finland. Now I have. I have family here, I have friends, you know, I've been here 6 years. Okay, so trying to find a job actually now in the industry is really hard because at this time and also where there would normally be 10 people applying for jobs. To Brazil or the US, something like that. Can you imagine relocating your entire family to a foreign country, especially where they don't speak your language? and then being told, "Yep, thanks, bye." And what do you do now? Like, do you stay there because you've just spent loads of money relocating and you've just uprooted your family to the other side of the world, or because you're fresh there, do you try and find another job elsewhere, or it's difficult.
Yeah, so I need you to head to that court to take out a security team and steal a stockade. No
Thanks to
sweat,
COVID,
right?
The industry already proved that it can work remotely.
But there's still people trying to push for return to the office, though, regardless of the fact that people made it work during COVID. I mean, especially for an audio role. Like, you don't actually need to be in the office. Maybe it's a bit different for a designer because you can bounce ideas off other designers, but for an audio person, you can do everything remotely.
Yes, well, in theory, the practice of that actually is significantly different. Usually, that's one of the reasons I think sort of studios are really pushing for return to work and return to the office because the security element. Dealing with a new console, for example, and you have the dev kit there, you're going to have 4 or 5 years before.
Okay, boss, here's the deal. Another laundering outfit's been running a pretty successful pipeline through Los Santos, and let me tell you, their money is squeaky clean. So we gotta reestablish the natural order here, and that's us on top. We're taking their cash. You just need to convincing the skies. And yes, you're gonna have to take out a bunch of security guys, but sucks to be them.
You aren't supposed to go down here.
You have to then connect via remote desktop. That's got other implications. Parsec, for an example, great tool, but there's a lag and a license fee. And if it's €1,000 a year per chair, and you've got a studio of 60 people.
Can you see the banks in the Stockade's GPS? That's where you gotta go pick up. Just keep it low key, get in and out. Cash in hand, baby, that's how we roll.
And save yourself €600,000 a year. So, but as an audio designer, if there's any delay or lag, you then find yourself in a situation where it's like, well, I have to tag these animations with these footstep sounds. I can't realistically do that without physically being there to do it. The other side of the coin is like when I was working on 9 to 5, we was in lockdown here in Finland, and everybody was working remotely. I was one of the few people that was actually allowed to go to the office, because at the time I was working on, as a first-person shooter, I was working on guns. My apartment block at the time was basically filled with pensions. I don't want to PTSD. I'm going to spend literally 6 hours a day listening to gunshots. I'm not doing that bad for it. So I basically went to my boss. I want to work from the office because I can use hours I want. I'm not going to annoy anyone. I can work from home, but if I do that, it means that I'm going to have to be playing loud gunshot sounds 6 to 8 hours a day. And the only option that I've got not to annoy people is to put headphones on. I'm simply not doing that. My ears are more important to me. I can't afford them. So, for me, I was one of the few people that was actually allowed to go to the office because, extenuating circumstances. But when I was doing the donkey work and the drum I would stay home and do that. If I'm not listening to gunshots and I'm not doing this, I'm doing implementation and authoring. I'll stay home and do that. I'll be smart. So.
You mentioned before crunch, right? Because obviously that's been a big thing in the past, and I know you've done it. And a lot of people may not know this, but audio people are usually the last in the chain, right? You're usually crunching right at the end. Like 6 months of work in 3 weeks type thing.
Yes, exactly.
And I do wonder how that works for an audio designer, because
That's one down. Just keep up the act and you'll be laughing all the way from the banks. I'm really sorry, that wasn't my best.
Systems, effectively, what you have to remember from an audio perspective is nobody likes to do the same thing too many times. Iteration is fine, but if you're not iterating on something, but you just have to keep doing it again and again and again, just because someone else has changed something, it's no longer, it's not smart wordplay. For an example, if I'm tagging animations,
But, the sounds aren't iterative. If they change the animations, I have to change, the timings, the animation timestamps. I'm sure the animator will do that. But as an audio designer, actually, change this animation, it looks different. That's fine. But if I have to do that every time because someone saved over my work, that's no longer smart. So it's easy for me to just say, you know what, when it's locked down and it's done, then I'll go in and I'll do it. Because at that point, when we're in lockdown and everyone's crunching and it's bug fixing, that's probably not going to change. And if it does change, it's changed because it's a bug rather than a creative sort of indifference or, if it's a decision that's made by someone, like he's no longer going to shoot, he's not left-handed anymore, he's right-handed, so they're going to swap the gun over, or he no longer climbs this brick wall in this particular way, he's now going to crouch behind it. I saved myself 3 weeks worth of work just by waiting till the last minute to do maybe a couple of hours worth of work on that one particular thing. So it sounds counterproductive, but only so much as these people have had weeks, months to do this particular work. This one particular mission, they've been iterating on it and tweaking the design for 6 months. I could go in and do all of the audio work for that, and certain things that you need to do that for, like the player needs to have that gunshot sound in there because you need to know how it feels with the gun and animation. Sure, it's a gunshot sound. Reloading, for an example, of the gun, those are nuances that would change in animation. You know that feedback's feels like, any Battlefield games. It's one of the things that they pride themselves on is reloading. So do I go in and add in the sounds immediately, or do I wait until all of those have been locked down and then do a sterling job right at the end and fix any issues that there are? That's what I would do, and that's what most audio designers do. They wait until everything's locked down and they know it's not going to change. They can go, right, I can just knock this out of the park. Yes, it might be 12 to 18 hour days that I might do it, but that 18-hour days that you do in 3 weeks, I might work 7 days a week, 60 hours for 3 weeks, or I can be stressed for 6 months and doing simple things all the time, really simple things. So what most audio designers do, I assume most audio designers, all of the ones that I know at least, they spend that 6 months building systems where iteration becomes a click and drag cascade. So I built an audio system for ambience, game world ambience. I spent 3 weeks just building this one system. The reason why I do that is because they might decide at the very last minute, adding in a tutorial level, or adding in a new level, or we've got some DLC coming up, we're doing this, and it needs to be, we need the audio going, we've got to turn around in about 3 weeks. Okay, click, plan. There you go. You've got a system immediately. The system is built, it works, it's all I have to do is go in, adjust the bounds of the boxes, the ambient zones in there, add in the sounds, add in the rules.
Here you go.
Like I want this sound to play this frequently, or I want it to do this, or I want the player to look at the closest 3 trees where the player is positioned and play a sound on those trees, so I don't have to spawn thousands of sounds around the game world. The system takes care of that for me. And you can knock that out because it's a system based on click and drag. Click and drag, there you go, pick it. Good. Then world is done. Then all I have to do is polish. Polish side of things, that's where all down is that's where all good goes and the product is the polish. You look at anything. All the systems, everything that they do is works. Because I spent months
unfortunately, I don't think it's something that's
life
going to change
style
the games.
right
So
now.
I think the audio team
I am
should be
Instagram reeling and driving
be actively working
my games.
because otherwise it won't get the love that it honestly deserves. And I can't think of a better system, a better way to handle it because everyone's working on the same thing at the same time, making the changes. So like GTA 5 for an example, like I've spent ages working on an ambience in this particular area and a bit of the game of it, and like, oh, that's like Chillin. Like that was an entirely different, like it looked completely different. There was a lake there, but it wasn't. It was a little bit more. Now all of the work I've done on that particular area, neutral on, okay, useless doing that because there's a lake there where there was a car park before. And that's fine, that happens a lot in any video game, not just GTA 5, I should point out, like in 9 to 5 for an example, we had cases where like I added in an ambience of a building and then moved up the game on it and the building was gone. It was like, oh, what happened to the building? Oh yeah, no, it's like, and then I got a bug through, so like when I stand in this particular area, it goes really, really quiet, I can't hear anything. Yeah, that's because there's an inclusion system built, like the interior, not an interior anymore, exterior, so, but again, like, this is a production thing, like, conversation with the audience, have gone a long way to making sure that that will never happen. Things get lost, things slip through the cracks there, so grin and bear it. But that's, again, doing too many things too soon can cause unnecessary this is an issue. It's not
it's all time, right? Trying to make the most use. That's always what it is. I have a few questions from the community.
Yes.
I know we're going a little bit over time. Maybe you can answer them, maybe you cannot, maybe you'll say no comment. We'll see how we go. Okay, so this one's from Bra47213. I think we've kind of touched on this a little bit. When you were doing your projects, did you physically go on location to the real places to record audio for games? Example, going to LA or Hollywood to record audio for GTA 5's Los Santos? Or was it something done remotely, using stock audio libraries?
I'm sending you the location of a bunch of assholes who thought I wanted to know some payment of counterfeit cash in lieu of dirty money we were owed. You know what I told them? You're fired. Give that one a minute, he'll come around.
I wasn't a part of that, fortunately.
Did you try and...
they'd already gone before we jumped in. Can you go to LA? They're like, oh yeah, no, we was there like last month.
When you reach those shady sons of bitches, torch everything. Don't leave a single bill unsinged.
Snow everywhere, and even on the trees it comes up and it looks very alien. Nothing like desolate, no birds, because it's minus 30 degrees. So sound behaves very differently because there's lots of snow. It's frankly quite weird. So audio is something most people in most environments always reference recordings and actually it's sort of things I do on there is I've got basic consumable sticks. Just to see how the sound refracts and bounces off of the trees and snow. It's very unique, very different, very strange. So I've done that a few times. You know, I want
You
to
got.
fix
Are you
it.
kidding me? Look! He's hit!
Good answer. That's actually really, really interesting. Okay, next one is from Superman Lift. Interesting name. Does Rockstar and other studios actually plug the theater system and actually test the audio? If so, yes. If so, what is the setup they test on? Does Rockstar build a typical home theater mock-up with popular home speakers, receivers to actually hear what the user will hear?
I don't know what they do now. I assume that it would be no different. My tenure there at Rockstar Leeds, my actually used, and just Logic Plus surround sound system that I put into the console. In the Edinburgh, also in the Leeds office, we had like a breakout room where we had a Dolby Atmos surround sound system installed. When we had the execs over from New York or Edinburgh, they'd come down and they
Checked inside, found a way in there, and fuck
like
their shit
sort of thing. They'd spend some pennies in that room, sort of thing. Then you've got the QA lounge.
Guys, please! Fall back! Are you alright? Apparato's down!
You know, good old-fashioned CRT, sort of, you know, the usual sort of TVs and things like that, you know. So yeah, you know, the most QA departments, I imagine, I assume that they would still the QA sort of team. I would be very surprised if they didn't have that kind of thing set up. Certainly at Leeds, we had different sort of setups. Different QA had a different setup. Most they tested through basically everything. Different kinds of headphones, you know, different range of cheapness of headphones, you know, like some really cheap tacky headphones versus some high-end quality ones, you know. I did the same thing actually. We bought a headphone amplifier and about 5 different kinds of gaming headsets, purely and simply so that I could literally just, while someone else was playing the game, I could switch between.
They got a truckload of fake cash on the road. You know what that means? Oh, son of
We're receiving fire!
There's a good friend of mine, Milosh, he's very similar, which sounds quite harsh. One of the things that plays game designers they get really passionate about it, and sometimes it might not be good for was being able to throw a bottle to create a sound and use that as a distraction. So we did a little bit of donkey work on it, and we worked out, okay, yeah, we could probably do this, but we can't realistically add it in as a feature. And we investigated it a little bit. Okay, like, I love the idea of it. I love the concept of being able to like throw a stone, break a window, for an example. But the logistics of it was just like, well, it's not just, okay, I want to create a sound.
Money launderers on LSPD files with cash to appropriate.
The UI people involved.
So, needless to say, We have to raise some capital if we want to take on the cartel again. Luckily, with the status quo being what it is, we still have no shortage of shady organizations you can persuade to donate. I am thoroughly ready for this. You know, I often retell the story of last time. Every morning to myself in the mirror. You are strong. You are worthy. We can wreck an entire cartel.
I know we're going a little bit over.
There should be a stash of cash in there somewhere, just like the last time. But don't get overconfident. They might have tightened security since our last incursion.
To learn Unity in C#, I wanted to basically make Viking chess.
By the way, I will be able to assist you with my LSPD privileges. Accessing their database and communications is a perk of the job.
So, when I was
one that will prove useful throughout this venture, I'm certain.
I took a tutorial.
Seems they're not going to take this lying down.
I basically butchered it so that it had the Nefertafel rules. Now, I'm pronouncing anything in a foreign country accent. And Nefertafel is just ridiculous. But its translation, fist table, I'm like, oh, that'd be cool. Maybe I could just call it fist table. And it's like, that's boring. That's dreadful. The Finnish word for fist table is fist, nyrki, pöytä, table. So, nyrki pöytä is fist table. It's basically the Finnish translation of Nefertafel. And that's basically
Let's consider this
the reason why
forfeiture.
I chose a Finnish name was because once I'd finished actually doing the Viking chess game of it, I decided I wanted to start working on some narrative aspects of it. And there was a Finnish tale called the Kalevala. And the only way I can describe the Kalevala is if you look at the United Kingdom and you look at all of their folklore, imagine King Arthur and the Round Table and the tale of Robin Hood. Imagine all of these different parts of the United Kingdom are all put in one book, like Lord of the Rings. You know, like, that's what the Kalevala is. It's basically poetry and stories that are taken from all around the region and put into one basic tale, this epic tale. So I was going to look at how do I do this? And it's now escalated. So I did a few cutscenes. The storytelling. So each episode is about 2 minutes long. Basically, a comic book strip. I tried it with English subtitle, with English voiceover. So we've got Finnish voiceover, English subtitle. It's basically a Finnish tale and it's told better in Finnish. So I made the decision. Every episode, the first episode that introduces the characters.
Okay, just like last time. Locate and seize any and all funds on the premises. Keep your wits about you, though. I wouldn't be surprised if they made some improvements to their security after your last visit.
Sing off together and you're behind me.
Anika!
Basically beaten. So I'm like, okay, well I need a game mode that's going to support that as a story element. Made a version of a classic board game called Fanorama, which is basically like moving things around a board. And each episode tells a different story, so I now have a different game mode that actually supports that short story.
That's so wild.
And all of the
back to back?
The cutscenes that are actually used in it, the artwork at the moment, the artwork is, pains me to say, actually AI created images because I needed a placeholder. But the actual images themselves are actually oil paintings that are hand painted by my partner.
Oh, that's cool.
because she's an incredibly talented oil painter, and so she's doing all of the paintings, which are scanned in, and they're going to be used as the actual artwork. But here's the catch. As and when and if the game ever releases, and it is a big if at this point, so I'm doing it all on my own. You can buy the artwork. So, as in, think NFT, but in real life. Like, if you like one of the paintings,
Why you got the puppy?
I like that. You can buy it. Like, you go into the app, click buy. It'll send an email. It's, you know, depending on the size. If you want this, you can either have a print. It'll cost you this much, or if you want the actual painting, we will ship it to you. So, you know, or like, I like this painting, I want that.
I wonder what
okay,
God
that's commissioning.
thinks of
It's
this,
probably not
bro.
going to be exactly the same as it is in the game, unless that's the one that you're purchasing. If you want a version of it, you probably would, you know, because it'll be a little bit cheaper, presumably. It won't be exactly the same, but it'll be a different variation of that that will be painted for you.
Every time. Those funds are going straight into Operation Assword. Unofficial name, naturally. We're just getting started.
More with it once we've got it, and it's not just a video game anymore. It's an actual, you know, it's a cultural phenomenon rather than just a video game.
What is this song?
Sounds like a lot of buzzwords for basically a mobile game, but it's that's the plan at least.
That's cool.
The
yourself
soundtrack
busy.
for it,
Good.
the soundtrack for it is actually written and composed by, again, another good friend of mine, Daniel. Unbelievable. And he's basically has traditional Finnish instruments like the yohikol and the kantele and things like that, and they're all traditional instruments, all recorded. You know, and it's the nice little details that sort of make all the difference. You know, so
Why is it kind of heat?
Yeah.
Why is it kind of heat?
So, if people want to stay up to date,
my blog is that'll be the place to go, which is and that will linked to so you'll see some blog posts
that is great. That's so good.
Glad to hear that. Means it works. But I also do things like I do a deep dive on how I build and then the blog actually does like a breakdown of that with screen up like this and that and this. So if you wanted to sort of look at, you know, the systemic side of things, that would be a good place to look, you know. And there's a lot of blog posts about Nurkipöter and what decisions were made, why those decisions were made, and the learning process. You know, like one of the things that I had to do for it was I had to build an AI, as in a bot for you to play against.
Coordinates coming your way.
Chess. So I had to then pick an algorithm, and you know, like I tried to get multiplayer to work so that I could actually play with my brother. And